Hello everyone, welcome to the course Front-End Development Frameworks for Web Applications. I am Dr. Sunita Bulla, Associate Professor in the ELG department at KL University. In this session, we will begin with the topic Introduction to Git and Version Control. Before we start learning Git and version control, let's first understand the objective of this course. This course designed to help uh, to build modern, responsive, and scalable web applications using today's industry standard technologies. Throughout this course, we will learn each technology step by step. First, we'll begin with the Git, and throughout the course, we will use Git version control. This Git version control is used to help us track our project changes and collaboration with the team members. Second, we'll begin with the HTML, which is the foundation of every web page. Here, we learn how to create a structured web pages using HTML5 elements, forms, tables, multimedia, and semantic tags. Next technology is a CSS. We'll study CSS, which is used to style web pages. Here we learn layouts using flexbox, grid, responsive web designing, animation, transitions, and how to create a attractive user interfaces. After that, we'll move to the JavaScript, the programming language of the web. Here we learn JavaScript variables, functions, objectives, and events, advanced JavaScript features, asynchronous programming, and browser API, how to interact with the web pages like that. We learn in the JavaScript. Next, once we are comfortable with the JavaScript, we learn React, one of the most popular front-end frameworks. Here we'll implement reusable components and we'll manage the application state and develop a single page application using React. Then after completion of the React, we'll learn the Node.js, which allow us to JavaScript to run the server side. Here we learn how to build the backend service and RESTful application and how to connect with the front end application. So after completion of all these technologies, finally we learn how to deploy web application using Git and Git pages. We'll use other technologies like Vercel also. Here your project can access publicly over the internet after deployment. By the end of this course, we will be able to design, develop, integrate, and deploy complete not a fully full stack application. And here we can able to deploy a full application using modern technologies and industry best practices. So these are the technologies we are going to learn as a part of this course. Next, here this front-end development frameworks for web application designed with the following syllabus. In the CO1, we are going to discuss about Git and HTML, and CO2 covers CSS and JavaScript. CO3 covers the React. CO4 covers advanced React with the Node.js and Express.js. This is the complete syllabus for whatever we are going to learn. So before we start learning this course content, let's first discuss the pre-requirement for this course. To successfully perform all the hands-on activities, we should have the required so software installed and configured in our systems. So these are the softwares we needed. First prerequisite is Visual Studio Code, which is commonly known as VS Code. It is a lightweight and powerful source code editor, and we will use throughout the course for writing and managing our code. Next requirement is Node.js. It provides the runtime environment. So in a VS Code, we are going to execute whatever JavaScript technologies. For the JavaScript technologies, this Node.js provide the runtime environment. So next classes we can understand what is a Node.js and what is a Visual Studio Code, whatever it is. But before going to start the course, we should have the first VS Code and second one Node.js. Third one, Git installation. The Git is a version control. We will use this version control to track our project. And finally, we need to create a GitHub account. The GitHub account is a this GitHub is a cloud-based platform where we can store Git repositories, collaborate with the team members, and publish our projects online. So these are the pre-requirement before going to enter into the main course. First of all, we need to install all these required softwares. Now go to the internet, download all the required softwares. Prerequisites of course. First one, VS Code. Go to the website. VS Code. Those who are working with the Windows operating system, download x64 version. This is the user installer. Those who are using the Mac, then use the Mac software. Now by using this link S64, so user interface x64, down click on this one, software will download. Go to the website. Next one, Node.js. So very first website. So Node.js. So Node.js, see here. So all of you go with the latest version. Make sure enter class using the same version. Because of this version to version, there is a little bit syntax changes are there. So now all of you, everyone should follow the uh, same version of software for the Node.js. So it is a Windows, then you can select the Windows operating system. If it is a Mac, select the Mac operating system. Okay, based on your operating system, then here click on the Windows installer. Click on the Windows installer. Software will download. The next one, finally third one, Git. Now go to the Git website. Now go to this website. Now here Windows 64 setup. Select this version, Windows 64 setup, or you can, whenever you click on the click here to download, then automatically latest version will download. So now so these are the softwares I downloaded already. First let's install VS Code. No need to select anything, just directly click on next, next, next. Install all the softwares one by one. First VS Code, second one Node.js, third one Git. Now VS Code installed successfully. So this is the VS Code. So VS Code installed successfully. Now close the VS Code. Next Node.js. Double click on the Node.js. Make sure entire class should follow the same version of Node.js. Recent version, go with the recent version. So here also you don't need to select anything, just directly click on next, next, next and install. Now Node.js installation completed. Finally, Git. Here also we no need to select anything, directly click on next, next, next. Finally, install. Now, first we installed the VS Code. Second, we installed the Node.js. Third, we installed Git installation. So Git installation is going on. Next, we have to create a GitHub account. Now go to the website. So it installing. Meanwhile, just go to the GitHub website. So now we need to create a GitHub account. There are two ways we can create the GitHub account. First one, click on the sign up. So now directly we can fill this configuration form. First let's GitHub account creation. Here step 1, create github.com. Create this website, and second, click on sign up. So when you click on the sign up, see here there are two things. One is a continue with the Google, continue with the Apple. If you have a Google account, then continue with the Google. So the first we will see the first method. Now continue with the Google. Now see here I have a Gmail account. Now select your Gmail. So these steps are depending on this system to system. First, just go to the read the instructions. Whatever required field it's asking, then provide the required field. Now, whenever I selected my Gmail, it automatically log in. Okay. Now this is the first one method, and second method. Now say then click on logout. Second one. So second one, if you don't have any Google, or if you don't want to wish to continue with the Google, if you want to create a account, then just this is the sign up form. Click a required fields. Click on the sign up, and fill required fields. Then next level, after filling the details, whenever you click on the create account, whenever you click on the create account, now it has the puzzle. Okay, next level, solve puzzle. Next level, solve the puzzle. Then after solving the puzzle, next level, email verification. Once you solving the puzzle, it sends the OTP to your email, whatever email you entered in the required field. Now it email verification, you will receive the OTP. Now open your email, enter the OTP, then finally enjoy the GitHub dashboard. Okay, now these are the steps. First of all, whenever you click on the GitHub sign up page. Now first, if you want to go with the Google, then continue with the Google and select your mail ID, then redirect your GitHub dashboard. So now otherwise enter the details. These are the details. Enter the details, email, password, username, enter the details, click on create account, then it will redirect it to the puzzle. Now solve the puzzle, then to go to the email verification. After that, after completion of email verification, we can enjoy the GitHub dashboard. So this is the way we will create the uh, GitHub. So now the fourth one, GitHub account creation. Now Git installation is completed. Click on finish. Then okay. Now check all the softwares. Check your prerequisites. Okay. Now first of all, after installing all the softwares, we need to verify all the pre-requirements are installed successfully or not. First one, VS Code. Now VS Code installed successfully. So now VS Code installed successfully. Now open the for to checking purpose, open the command prompt. Open command prompt. Now VS Code verification purpose. Okay, we need to verify VS Code installed successfully or not. If you want to verify, just type code space dot. So whenever you enter the code space dot in this, the directory automatically open in the VS Code. Okay, now VS Code. This is the VS Code editor. The VS Code installed successfully. Now close the editor. Now VS Code installed successfully. Right. Next, if you want to verify Node.js, type node hyphen v. Now see here we can see the Node.js version node hyphen v. So this is the command. Type this command in the Node.js. Now we can see the Node.js version. Node.js installed successfully. Then after, if you want to verify the Git, now type the command git hyphen hyphen version. Now we can see the Git version. We can see Git version. Git installed successfully. Right? So now pre-requirement completed. This is the way we have to ready our system for the course. So let's start a CO1. Come to the first topic. It is introduction to Git and version control. Now that we have discussed this course objective, syllabus and pre-requirements, now let's begin our first topic. Before learning the Git commands, it is important to understand what is a version control, why it is needed, and how Git helps developer to manage the software projects efficiently. Okay, uh, this a version control system is a software or it is a software tool. This tool helps developer to track the day-to-day changes to their source code and project over the time. It allows us to maintain different copies of the project and it shows the path how to restore previous version and whenever it required how to collaborate with the multiple developers without losing any work. Okay, now let's understand industry point of view. Okay, uh, for example, let's take any organization. In the organization, there is a project. The project name is called like a online shopping website. Okay, it is a project. Okay, for this project, to implement this project, 5 developers are allocated. So developer 1, developer 2, developer 3, developer 4 and developer 5. This developer 1 is allocated to design login page and developer 2 allocated to design product page, and developer 3 allocated to design shopping cart, and next developer allocated to design payment gateway, and finally fifth developer allocated to implement, or this developer uh, implement allocated to implement user interface. Okay, so this is the real time scenario. There is a industry, like let's assume it is a Wipro company. The Wipro company had a one project. The project name is e-commerce website. Then here 5 developers are allocated to work on this project. Without version control, how this developer will work? First of all, this first developer working on the login page, and the second one product page, and third one shopping cart, payment gateway, and user interface. Right? They will how they can exchange the file, for example, through the any social media like WhatsApp, Telegram, like that. They have to exchange the pages, right? If they did like that, there might be a lot of chances, they can lose their important code. They can lose their continuity, and it is difficult to make a particular modifications. Now all are working on different pages, and as a project team manager, I can feel how to combine all the pages and how to collaborate all the pages. So this is the scenario. But whenever you using the version control, okay, whenever using the version control as a team manager, okay, first of all, here as a team manager, first of all, I will create one cloud repository. This is the cloud repository. In the cloud repository, I will place my e-commerce website template prototype. Whatever I will place that prototype. Now here developer 1 will download or clone the project, and he will work on the login page and push the changes into the cloud server. Next one, say a developer to clone the project, he will work on the product page and push the product details into the this cloud server. Similarly, third developer implement the shopping cart, and they can push the changes into the e-commerce template in the cloud server. Similarly, fourth developer and fifth developer. There is a one virtual environment is there. In the virtual environment, uh, they will use the team manager will place the prototype. Then after that, in the prototype, by using this prototype, all the developer clone the project, and they will implement push the changes into the this particular cloud repository. Now team manager directly clone this particular repository, and he can do all the changes, and he can deploy. It is the version controls makes works is a very easy. Okay, every developer works on their own copy of the project and commit the changes in the proper messages, and those changes are reflected into the repository. The version control system maintains the complete history of the project and making it easy to restore the previous version. And it identify who made the each changes, for example, developer 1 push the login page. The team manager identifies the developer 1 only push this page. The second one, if the Developer 1 pushed any product details, the team manager will identify he caught the developer 1. Okay, the developer 1 try to do the changes in the shopping cart. The team manager the team manager identifies the developer 1 working on the shopping cart. He can give the warning messages to the developer 1. So this is the way version control will work. The version control is used provide the virtual environment to place our project, and the multiple developers will collaborate with that particular environment. They can complete their project and they can push the changes into the particular virtual environment. So right, all together work on the project. Then they can complete their allocated work, push the changes into the virtual environment. The team manager catches all the files and he can complete the project. This is why the version control have become an essential part of the modern software. There are three major types of version control system. First one is a local version control system. It is the first type of control system, version control system, such as RCS. So RCS are local Git. In the local Git, all the version controls or projects are stored in the local system only. There is no more remote repository and no more collaboration. Local Git is nothing but whatever project, the project is available inside the developer local system only. The developer only work on the project. Okay, that is called local VCS. Second one, centralized VCS. Centralized VCS means, centralized VC, it is a second type of version control system. In this model, all the project files are stored in the central server. Now see here, this diagram is a best example for the central version control system. This is the centralized version control system. So it is a centralized version control system. So see here what happens in the centralized version control system. Only single virtual server. So see here, centralized server. In the centralized server, the developer will connect to the centralized server. He can download the login page. He will push the login page here. So now it is a single point of failure. Okay. Now it is a single point of connection. And now here in the centralized version control system, there are many disadvantages are there. Okay. Advantage is it is a centralized one. Multiple developers can able to work together on the project. It is a positive. It is a like advantage. But lot of disadvantages are there. What are the disadvantages here? First one, uh, just centralized version control system. Here disadvantages are, first one, it is a single point of failure. So now it is a single point of failure. Now all the project data stored into the central server. If the server crashed, the entire project became unavailable. Developer cannot access the repository. This is the first disadvantage. Second disadvantage, it needs internet connection. If there is any centralized connection is if there is any centralized version control system, developer must have the uh, internet connection, offline work is very limited. Next one, application performance depends on server. The server is slow or overloaded. The developer experiences the delay while accessing the repository. Similarly, there are many disadvantages are there. Here, limited offline we can face, and at the same time, it reduces the collaboration during the server downtime. So now there are three types of VCS. First one, local VCS. It is a local system, version control system. So now only one developer can work on the local VCS. Centralized VCS. The centralized VCS is depending on the central server. Multiple developers can collaborate with the centralized server for implementation of the project, but there are a lot of disadvantages are there. Then third one, distributed version control system. Distributed version control system, it is a third type of version control system, and Git is one of the most popular distributed version control system. So Git is the one of the most popular uh, distributed version control system in the software industry. In this system, every developer has a complete copy of the repository, including entire history. This allows developer to work on offline, and at the same time, uh, whatever change, these are the disadvantages. All disadvantages are overcome inside the distributed control version system. So how it is overcome? First of all, to overcome this particular disadvantage, whatever we faced inside the centralized virtual control system, uh, now, for that purpose, a distributed version control system came with a solution. Now, what is the solution here? In the distributed version control system, there are two types of repositories or environment. There are two types of repositories or environment. First one, local repository. Second one, remote repository. First one is a local repository, second one is a remote repository. So local repository stored the developer's own computer. It's for example, this local repository, we can say it is a local VCS. So now it is a local repository. It is a local VCS. Example of a local VCS is a Git. So now we have two environments inside the distributed version control system. One is a local environment that is called as a local repository. In the local repository, our project directory act as a local like under the local VCS Git software. The Git installation is also act as a Git local. that a local repository completely maintained by the Git. Second one is a remote repository. The remote repository, here the remote repository, here we can use centralized, whatever centralized VCS. So now here centralized VCS, we can GitHub. There are many remote repositories are available nowadays, like GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket. There are many things are there. In our curriculum we are going to learn about GitHub. Now GitHub is a remote repository. So now the distributed versioning control system comes with the combination of local VCS and centralized version control systems. So now based on these two things we are going to implement distributed things. The remote repository hosted on the remote server such as GitHub, whatever account we created now, it serves as a central collaboration point for the entire development team. Okay, let's understand with the example. Let's take this one as we can edit in this one, distributed version control system. So same here. Similarly, first of all, each developer having its own. Now see here. So this is called distributed version control system. Okay. Now here team manager deploy the prototype of e-commerce in the cloud server, that is a GitHub. Let's say this environment we can take it as a virtual environment, that is called GitHub. Okay, in the GitHub, the project manager create the one repository, deploy the prototype of e-commerce website inside the GitHub. Now what is the developer one will do? The developer one clone the entire project into the local directory. It is a virtual directory, remote directory. It is a local directory. We can say it as a local repository. It is a local repository and it is a virtual repository. It is a virtual repository. There are two things are here. Now the developer connect to the virtual repository, will clone entire project into the local system and he will update the login and he will push the changes into the login changes into the virtual repository. Similarly, developer 2, he will clone the project into the local system and he will implement the product and push the changes into the e-commerce. Similarly, third developer, fourth developer and fifth developer. Now, for suppose any reason the cloud virtual environment is not available, instead of waiting, then the developer will work on the local repository, whatever project copy available in the local system. Then after connecting the virtual server, they will push the changes. No need to wait for the virtual server. They have their own copy into the local repository and they will complete the whatever their task. Then after later they will put the changes into the remote repository. So this is the way we will use the this is the way we will use the distributed version control system. So let's take one more example. One more scenario we will take. There is a project. The project is a hospital management system. Then there are three developers. Developer 1 will work on a admin module. Developer 2 will work on doctor module. Developer 3 will work on patient module. So now developer 3 will work on the patient module. So now what we'll do, there is a project manager. The project manager deploy the prototype in a virtual environment in a centralized version control system. In this project, having three modules, the first module will allocate to the first developer, second module will allocate to the second developer, third module will allocate to the third developer. So now the first developer complete the admin module, push the changes into the project in the remote repository. Second developer complete the project, push the doctor module into the remote repository. Third developer complete the patient module and push the changes into the hospital management system. The team manager he can take the all the three things, three whatever developer push the changes into the repository, collect the three branches and he can combine and he will complete all together. He will run the project. He can see the output. So this is the way we will use version control system, distributed version control system. So we will use for this. This is the way we will use to implement to use the distributed version control system. We need two repositories. One is a local repository. Second one is a remote repository. So that is the way there are two repositories. Distributed version control system having the two repositories. One is a local repository, second one is a remote repository. Let's discuss about first local repository. So now local repository, we already said it is a local VCS. Git is an example of local repository. So now just now we install the Git software into our local system. Alright. So now we have a Git version. So this is the Git version. Means our system having the local repository environment. So whenever you install the Git software, that indicates our local system already having local repository environment. Okay. Now here we have a local system environment. Alright. We already said Git is a local uh, system environment. This Git is a open source distributed version control system. It was developed by Linus Torvald in 2005. It is one of the most widely used tool in the software industry for the source code management. Okay, this allows like a multiple developers work on the same project. Because of this technique only, multiple developers are working on the same project without any clash in the industry. So there are two environments: local Git environment, Remote Git environment. Local Git environment is installation of the software. Remote Git environment is a GitHub account. Now remote repository. A remote repository example is GitHub account. Okay, remote repository example is GitHub account. Now, how we have a local repository, Git software installed in our local system. We have a remote repository. We already create GitHub account. Now, these two are individually, these two are there. Okay, our hand, local repository is there, remote repository is there. Now, next, what is our task? Configuration, Git configuration with the GitHub. If you want to use a distributed version control system, we need to configure local environment into virtual environment. For that purpose, we need to open the command prompt. Local repository configuration with remote repository. Now we are going to configure our local Git with the remote repository. Or before we start to create the repositories, first we need to establish the connection between local Git and remote repository, whatever hosted on the GitHub. We already discussed earlier, we have two repositories, local repository and remote repository. To enable this collaboration between local Git to remote Git repository, uh, Git needs to know who are you. Therefore, uh, before using the Git, we must configure our username and email address of your GitHub account. This information stored with every changes in your local repository. Now, first of all, see here in the command prompt, first command git hyphen version. It's showing Git version is not recognized. Alright. So now Git version, it shows the Git version. Now before configuring Git to GitHub, first of all we have to see the configuration parameters. Git config hyphen list. So this is the command. This is the first command. This command displays the current Git configuration, including configured whatever your account configured, or Git settings and everything. It shows everything. Now copy this command, paste here. Git config hyphen list. See here, it shows all Git details. Now these are the Git configuration details. Now verify where is there any username, email ID or password connected here. So nothing is there. Now my local heat not configured with the any GitHub account. Now I want to configure my account here. So if you want to configure your account, command is git config hyphen global user dot name. Give your GitHub account username. So where is it? Open your GitHub, github.com, sign in. Now see here, this is the profile icon. In the right top corner, we can see the profile icon. Click on the profile icon. We can see the username. Okay, Sunita Bulla. This is my username. Copy this username. Paste here. Type the command. So git config hyphen global user dot name Sunita Bulla. Alright. Copy this command. Paste here. Now similarly, email also. We need to configure email also. Git config user not email user dot email. This is the email ID. We need to enter git config hyphen global user dot email. Now enter your GitHub account. I mean, which account you, which email ID you use to create your GitHub account. Okay. Now copy this one, paste here. Now configuration completed. Your local repository configured with the remote repository. Here local repository is nothing but whatever install the software in our local system, and remote repository is nothing but whatever we created a account inside the GitHub. Now if you want to verify, again type the command git config hyphen list. Type the command git config hyphen list. Now see here my inside the settings. Now user dot name is Sunita Bulla and user dot email ID is sunitabulla at gmail.com. Sunitabulla at gmail.com. This is the email ID and the name. My now this local git configured with the remote git. Right. For example, okay. Now let's see. Now let's log out. I have a two accounts. Okay. I have a two accounts. This is one of my account. Next one, this is the continue with the group. I have a two accounts. Now first, now my local system connected with the my local git connected with the remote git. Here condition is at a time local git connect with one remote git. Okay. Now here the local git connect with only one remote git at a time. we for example, I have a two accounts. Okay, I have a two accounts. Now I want to connect my local git with the one account. So now this, see here, this is the many configuration details. These are the configuration details. Alright. Now if you don't want to use this particular credential, if you want to use another account, now first we need to unregister these configuration details. We need to unregister this configuration details and register again and another details. Now see, unconfigure unconfigure remote git. So now for configuration purpose, these are the commands we are using. Now unconfiguration purpose, git config hyphen hyphen global hyphen hyphen unset user dot name. Similarly, git config hyphen hyphen global hyphen hyphen unset email. So now we are not giving any password. We'll see later. Okay. Now see here, git config hyphen hyphen global user dot name. Now these two parameters we are unconfiguring. Now copy second command. Now again type git config hyphen hyphen list. Now see here, now user dot name and user dot email not available. Now if you want to connect with another account, okay. For example, if you want to connect with another account, username is Sunita Bulla, email ID is klef@aws@gmail.com. I want to connect with this account. Okay. Now configure this GitHub credential here. Check. Now see here, KLF, these two values, this account connected. This is the way we will configure our GitHub account to local Git and unconfigure our GitHub account to the local Git. If you this account added to the my local Git, if you want to unconfigure, simply type the command now check git config hyphen hyphen list. Now see here, it's unconfigured. Let's configure our original account. This is the account I am using as a part of this course. Now I configured my GitHub account, username with the Sunita Bulla and email with the sunitabulla@gmail.com. Now that Git has been configured with our GitHub account. Now we are ready to create a repository. In this session, we discussed course objective and syllabus. Next, we discuss what is a VCS and types of VCS. Now, next we discussed distributed version control system. In that, we discussed local Git and remote Git. Next, we discussed configuration, configuration of local Git with remote Git, configuration or unconfiguration, configuration and configuration of local Git with the remote Git. So now all of you configure your GitHub account for the next session. We'll continue this configuration detail, the configuration of this Git in the next session. Thank you.